Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United, third place in the Premier League, and whilst that's never anything to really celebrate because we're Manchester United and we want to win it all, what I would say is Manchester United, when you look at our recent history, I just want to say, look, De Gea was magic today, but over the whole season, Erik ten Hag has been absolutely incredible. We're 4 points ahead of Newcastle. 4 points. This is what I say. You know, people say Arsenal bottled it, or Newcastle were better than United, or Liverpool were going to get top four. Ultimately, we are where we deserve to be after 38 games. 38 games is where you need to be. And 4 points ahead of Newcastle, that's not even close. We are the third best team in England. We're 4 points ahead of fourth place. We beat them in the Carabao Cup. We're way ahead of Liverpool. Somebody tell me how many points Liverpool are behind us. It's where you are on game 38, not where you are on game 35, not where you are on game 30. It's a 38-game season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's another win at home. And Erik ten Hag deserves loads of credit. Of course, minds are going to move toward this magical final next Saturday where, you know, but forget about Man City for a minute and forget the fact that we're trying to stop them taking our treble. If you just look at this season for what it is, 75 points. That's more points than Solskjaer got when he came second. Oh, Solskjaer this, Solskjaer that. 75 points in his first season. That's more than Solskjaer got when he came second with 74. A trophy in his first season and 4 points clear of fourth place. It's been a fantastic first season for Erik ten Hag, and obviously next week is going to be defining because it's going to be Man City, and he's unfortunate that City are going for a treble in his first season. But United have done a fantastic job, and Erik ten Hag has done a fantastic job, and you know I'm very very happy. I'm very happy with it. I do think David De Gea was fantastic today. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to just dwell on Man United in this season. I know the season's not over and I know it's all about the FA Cup, but really, when the Premier League season is over, you do have to look at the season in a general sense. And I think that the home form has been brilliant. The fans at Old Trafford this season have been incredible, and the players and Ten Hag have highlighted that, but it'd be wrong if I didn't as well and you didn't. The defence this season is where we've really excelled. And it was interesting today, wasn't it? Because I thought Lindelof played well, but we had no Varane, no Wan-Bissaka, no Shaw, and Martinez is injured. And who was the guy who stood up to the plate? We're going to go 2-0 down. It's a very good save on a penalty that he doesn't normally make saves from penalties. And then in the second half, he made big saves as well. Manchester United, over the course of this season, have achieved what they've achieved. Even in the Carabao Cup final, they've achieved what they've achieved because of the defence. And David De Gea, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Malacia, they've been the people who've done that. That's what they've done. And Manchester United have got what they deserve to do this season. It's been incredible. Apparently Everton have just stayed up as well. Everton are safe. Dyche survived. There we go. They're probably expecting a pitch invasion. In fact, there is. I can see it there now. But Everton stay up, which for me is good news as well. I think that, you know, I definitely wanted Everton to stay up. I think that Leicester were without doubt the worst team in the Premier League with Leeds and Southampton. The right three went down. But look, it's been a really interesting season for Manchester United. I want to do the player ratings, but I want to just dwell on David De Gea for a moment and say that, you know, there's something else we need to dwell on as well before I even talk about De Gea or before I talk about Ten Hag. Look at the league table for Manchester United. We're 4 points clear of Newcastle. We are 6 points. Sorry, not 6 points. We are... Let me have a look at this. Manchester United, 75 points. 9 off Arsenal. 14 off Manchester City. 4 ahead of Newcastle and 8 ahead of Liverpool. So we finished 8 points ahead of 5th. That's just, you know, I know at times it felt like it might be a little bit of a little bit dramatic, but ultimately we finished where we deserve to finish. We finished in the top 4, and Ten Hag's done a really good job. In relation to the game itself today, look, the mindset. There's a couple of things I've got to say here. On the game itself today, it wasn't a throwaway game. Fulham came, and if they'd got that penalty, I think they probably would have won the game. It wouldn't have mattered, actually, because Newcastle didn't win. Zach, welcome to the Members Club. But I think there's a couple of things to take away from today. The defence, I don't really care about, because that defence won't play next week. I thought Lindelof and De Gea played well, and the rest of them probably won't play. The front three, God knows what he's going to do. Ten Hag said before the game that that Anthony's back for the final. Sancho off the right is a different player. Looks fantastic on the right-hand side. Do you go Rashford off the left and Martial down the middle? I think you do. And then in the midfield, look, Fred today couldn't have done a better job anyway. But you've got to play Fred with Casemiro and Bruno next week. You've got to. And I'll be stunned if he doesn't. Erik ten Hag's a genius, what he's done at United this season, in my humble opinion. I think it's incredible. And I think you've got to trust this guy. But if he plays Eriksen with Casemiro next week, I don't know what we're doing. I've seen United this season get overrun in the midfield with Eriksen away from home, and we will get overrun in the midfield with Eriksen. He's got to play Fred. Now, you flip a coin with Fred, he might play like he did today and he might play crap. But you've got to have that energy, you've got to have that physicality, you've got to play Fred. And I think that was something that really, really matters today. Really important that Fred plays. Further than that, well, look, did we see a goodbye for any players today? Now, interestingly, some people think that was goodbye for David De Gea. I don't know what planet they're living on. He's going to sign a new contract. I don't know where this David De Gea is going to leave. It was nice for him to, make a big save. David De Gea is not going to leave. David De Gea is a really important player for us. We do need to bring a goalkeeper in, but I think he's had a fantastic season. He's won the Golden Glove. He's kept us from losing that game. I mean, ultimately, people want a goalkeeper that can play out from the back, and I get that. I do get that. But there's a goalkeeper that's just won us the game here. So, I don't really get that. Do I think it's goodbye for Maguire? I think today showed why it had to be goodbye. It has to be goodbye for Maguire and McTominay. I don't know whether Weghorst as well. Obviously, he's not a permanent player, but I think today highlighted that Maguire just doesn't suit Manchester United anymore. I still think he can be a good player. Southgate picks him for England, but he doesn't suit the way we want to play. He looks awkward. He looks a problem. He wants to play deep. He doesn't want to be left on his own, and that's not the way United play, and Lindelof has adapted to that. Look, McTominay really wants to play first-team football. He needs to go and play first-team football. As for Weghorst, I said it a few weeks ago, and tell me I'm wrong. Weghorst is a worse loan signing than Ighalo. Tell me I'm wrong. Ighalo was a better loan signing than Weghorst, and I said this a few weeks ago. I think Weghorst has been liked more than Ighalo, probably because the team's done better. But you know what? Erik ten Hag just said on the mic at Old Trafford that they're going to win City and bring the cup back. Let's go. Well, I hope he's right. Thank you for telling us that, Bay. But look, Weghorst, that miss at the end sort of encapsulates the way it's gone for him. Fred through ball is Carrick-esque, says Mud. But we'll always, I can't speak for everybody, but we'll always like Weghorst. It's not that we didn't like him. He had some very likeable traits, but ultimately, as a footballer, he just isn't on the level, is he? I mean, he wouldn't start up front for Southampton, and they've just got relegated. He wouldn't start up front for Leeds, and they've got relegated. And he wouldn't start up front for Leicester, and they've got relegated. He's just not the level that we need. But he's the only player that Ten Hag could get, and I'm grateful for him for coming. And I think Ten Hag went with what he could get. Get Harry to Everton, and he thrives, says Jaden. I actually think Everton staying up might be quite good for us. If you think about Leeds, they're never going to buy a Man United player. Leicester, they're not going to buy him back. So I think Everton might be a place that they might look at some of our players. I mean, McTominay, Everton, might work quite well. Maguire, Everton, might work quite well. I mean, whether they can pay his wages or not, I don't know. It was a bad miss for Weghorst. I wish he'd scored it because it would have been a nice, fond farewell. Did we win more things with Wout, says Kyle. I don't know. I don't think we won anything with Ighalo. I don't think so. But I think Ighalo offered much more to Manchester United than Weghorst did, but it doesn't really matter. He won't be. Martial, we've managed to keep him fit for a few weeks. That doesn't get spoken about enough. Look, next week's a completely different game anyway. I'm not even going to read into how we've played over the last few weeks. Next week is a different game for Manchester United. And I think we'll see a different Manchester United side in different circumstances. Who knows what's going to happen. Look, Erik ten Hag, a few quotes from Erik at the end of the game there. He said, look, I want to thank our players. They've had a great season, thanks to the staff. And I also want to thank you all. Thank you for your contribution and support. When I say these words, there's still one game to go. I'm sure these players will give everything to beat Man City next week. We'll give everything to bring the cup back to Old Trafford. So look, let's hopefully we can do that. Let's get into the player ratings. Manchester United... third place, 4 points ahead. 4 points ahead of Newcastle. 8 points ahead of Liverpool. It wasn't even close at the end. And that's how you judge it. You judge it over 38 games. You don't judge it over anything else. Please do smash a like on the video, by the way. Massive community. Massive game next week against against Manchester City in the FA Cup. But, of course, the Premier League season is concluded. I think it's been a cracking season. I think you've been great. So please smash a like and subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. And, of course, we move into the summer transfer window and the sale, which I'll talk to you about in a minute, because there was actually an update on the sale during the game from Simon Stone, the BBC journalist. But, hi, Mark. They should respect Ten Hag, third place and 75 points, says Ian. And Leicester deserve to go down for getting 80 million from Maguire. Can't we keep Weghorst as a mascot for next season? He's a really likeable guy, says B2. And Erik ten Hag adopted a playing style against his principles and achieved. He's the real deal, says SB. And Weghorst should become a centre-back instead of a striker, says I don't show speed. Thank you very much. Right, player ratings. For me, he's man of the match today. I think that penalty, on today's performance, if he doesn't save that penalty, 2-0 down, I'm not sure we would have come back and won the game, which I think, draw probably would have got us top third place, but you want to win. Made some big saves, 7.5 for me, 8 from you. I'll have that. Delo, 6.5. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It wasn't bad. He hasn't played for a while. He looked a bit rusty, but yeah, I like Delo, 6.5. I'd agree with that. Lindelof, a 7 today. Mr. Iceman, Mr. Cool, Mr. Consistent over the last few weeks. Will he play in the final? Look, that's something we're going to be talking about this week. And a little bit of a bonus as well. People like the chart show. This week I'm going to release a chart show for the season. I don't know whether I will do it before the FA Cup final, because the FA Cup final is a one-off. For the season player ratings, I'm going to do a season chart show this week. But yeah, Lindelof, will he play in the final? Maguire, I'll probably give him a 6. Look, he didn't look good, but it's hopefully going to be, he's our fourth choice centre-back. I don't feel like there's much negative to say about Harry anymore. What's happened is what I and many other predicted would happen. He just isn't as good as Lindelof, Varane and Martinez. And he came in and did okay today. Aerially I thought he was quite good, but he doesn't suit the way we play. Malacia, 6.5 for me. Yeah, could have a chance of playing in the final. Hi, Mark. Have you seen the rumours about the training kit colours matching the Qataris and the players saying, well, make a few big signings? Does that hint at Qatar, says Sebastian? I don't think so. Are there any players from Southampton, Leeds or Leicester you would take on the cheap? I wouldn't take Ward-Prowse, Alex, and I wouldn't take Maddison either, actually. Thank you, Mark, for everything you do. What a season, says Xander. Next one, Casemiro. Probably a steady... He said Eddie. Probably a steady 7 for me. Yeah, we're quite close today. We're all getting it quite right. Yeah, look, wrap him up and keep him back for the final. I liked the Ten Hag subs today as well. All done at the right time, and I like the way that he got Casemiro and Fred out of there. Fred, probably 7.5 for me today. That pass was delightful. He also technically got an assist on the first goal as well. I was happy with Fred today. I've always said this about Fred. He can have a good game, and he can have a terrible game, and you never know what you're going to get. But we needed a good performance from him today. He's put himself right in the spot to play in the final. Bruno looks knackered. Still looks knackered. Hopefully he can get some rest over the next week. But, he was in and out of the game. I'd give him a 7. Took his goal well. Sancho, probably one of his best games, 7.5. I really do think on the right-hand side, he should have had an assist for Weghorst as well. He scored a goal. I thought he was in the game. I thought he played well like Fred. I thought Sancho played well. And again, giving himself a very, very good chance of playing in the final. Hi, Mark. Would you play Victor Lindelof at CDM next to Casemiro for the final? No, I wouldn't do that, man. And hi, Mark. Why does it seem like Erik ten Hag made a bigger accomplishment than Ollie when he got us to second in the league? What were the main differences, says Dano? He's a proper coach, I suppose, is a short answer. Did you not know that we have conceded the least number of goals this season after City and Newcastle, says Rimbic? I know that we've only conceded 9 at home all season. What a record that is. 9 goals at home all season in 19 games. 9 goals conceded. I mean, like the video, do something. I think that's incredible. 9 goals all season. Single figures. That's why I didn't want that penalty to go in. 9 goals all season. Amazing. At home. Garnacho, probably 6.5 for me today. You know, I like Garnacho. The great thing about Garnacho is things happen with him on the pitch. They do. Sancho must be much better on the right, says John Stewart. So, yeah, I like Garnacho. Things didn't go quite well for him today, but, yeah. Rashford today, probably a 6. Yeah, and I think we're probably, you know, it's amazing how close we've been. Yeah, I think Rashford's better off the left. I think you've got to play Rashford off the left in the final. But he's always an option up front against Man City with his pace. But couldn't really get into the game as much today. Probably, yeah, just a bit of a quiet game for Rashford. Might be feeding his way back from injury. But, yeah, I think Rashford, yeah, he's better off the left. Play him off the left. Simple as that. Eric Ten Hag. We haven't got the subs on there, unfortunately. But Ten Hag today, right, 8. 8 for me. I nearly give him man of the match. I thought the team he selected, I would have made a few more changes, but I think he was probably looking at a midfield to play against Man City, so he wanted to give him a bit of time. I think he wanted to give Sancho time off the right. I'll tell you what, that Decore goal to keep Everton up, pretty good goal to keep him up. I don't think any of the subs, by the way, were stand out really anyway, were they? I don't think any of them really came on and made a big impact. But look, that's not a score for Ten Hag for the season. That I'll give you Ten Hag score out of 10 after the FA Cup final. But that's for today. I think he managed the game really well. I thought his subs were really good. He managed to keep Varane, Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw off the pitch altogether, which is great. Oh no, we've still got the subs. Sorry, and yeah, he did. I thought he was really good today. Ericsson 6, McTominay 6, Martial 6. Van course probably a 5, and Palestri probably a 6.5. I thought came on and did quite well. Submit your vote. Man of the match, David De Gea, 62%. Who came second and third, Mark? Well, I can tell you, Jadon Sancho came in at second and Fred came in at third. So I tell you what, I still. I'm surprised. I mean, for me, David De Gea was man of the match. Yeah, definitely was. But I actually thought Sancho would get it because Sancho is a player that's obviously well liked in the chat. So I thought he might get it, or even Fred. So good to see that David De Gea got it. Great season, 14 points off top and won a cup, says Ryan. Well, I think that's what I would say. Points tally is really important. Manchester United ending the season with 75. What's that? 16 more points than we got last year. I said at the start of the season, sometimes it's not about where you finish if you don't win the league. It's about how many points you get. Ollie finished second with 74 points. We've just finished third with 75. This is why points tallies. If you're not going to win the league, I always think points. Because you can finish second and be miles off, like Mourinho, like Ollie. I think points is more important. Next season, if we're not going to win the league, and I don't think we will, it's very clear that you've got to break 80 points next year. Well, that's only 5 more points. So next year, I'd like to say 85 next year, but it might be too much. But I think next year, I'll say it now, points total, we've got to be looking at 80 points plus. We've hit 75 in his first year. You've got to keep improving. Ten Hag will want to improve. So, you know, I think that's very, very, very easy target. Not an easy target, but it's an easy target to set for United. Now, one thing I did want to just talk to you about very quickly was the news that came in from Simon Stone while we were live. Manchester United have basically said, sorry, not Manchester United. Where is it? Okay. There is a feeling from... so basically, Simon Stone has come out and... I'll summarise this very, very quickly, don't worry, because I know we've got the fan forum. So Simon Stone has basically come out and said that there was a meeting on Thursday No decision was made. It's felt that Ineos and Sir Jim still have the best offer on the table, but there is an expectation that Sheikh Jazim Al Thani will put in another offer. United haven't made a decision yet, and also probably won't make it until after the final, with Avram Glazer expected to attend the final. This is really interesting that Simon Stone is reporting this, because you'll remember I tweeted this yesterday afternoon, that it is expected that a Glazer will be at the final, and therefore there'll be no announcement till after the final. So that tells me, I know that person who told me that information anyway, they're very, very good, but obviously that's now filtering out to people like Simon Stone and other people as well. So yeah, Man United, the Glazers, they're going to be here for the FA Cup final, and then they're going to announce what's happening. I think there's two theories here now with the sale, and I'll share them with you. One, they haven't made their mind up and they're hoping for another bid from Qatar, which they'll probably accept, because why do they keep delaying? Or two, they have made their mind up, they will go with Sir Jim, they just don't dare announce it until the season's over, i.e. after the FA Cup, because then people can't protest because there's no games. And I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be one of those two things. Would you play Sancho over Anthony in the final, says Man? Well, I would at the moment, because I don't think Anthony looks like he's fit. And thanks, Mark, and the United Stand community. You're absolutely unbelievable. Your work rate is amazing, says Tim. Well, the work rate will continue over the summer, because we've got pre-season tour, obviously. We've got the FA Cup next week. I think we've got all the sale to react to as well. And the transfer business has started already, as you know. We've been talking about Mason Mount. We've been talking about Declan Rice, obviously Harry Kane. I don't think there's been any hints. I mean, sometimes you do get hints on the final day of the season about players leaving. I know there's a few people out. Check out the full speech from Ten Hag at full time when you get a chance. What a manager, love him, says Levi. I will do, don't worry about that. But I think that with regards to transfers, I expect to see a conclusion of the Mason Mount deal quite quickly. He's not been called up for England. The Chelsea season is over. I think Poch will have a quick chat with him, and he'll either stay or he'll come. Harry Kane, watch that one. He's got no games to play now until the middle of June for England. So he needs to be having a chat about whether he's staying or where he's going, because Man United want to get that done quickly. So I expect to see some quick movement on transfers. In fact, I'll make a prediction. It's only a prediction. I think we might end up signing a player or getting a deal done before the sale's even through. Because I just think Erik Ten Hag is just so adamant that he wants to get deals done quickly, and United are talking to people. So I think that we probably will just get moving on transfers. Yeah, I do, and hopefully we'll get the Glazers out of the football club. But they will be there next week at the cup final. There's no doubt about that, and we're not going to see United announcing the sale before next Saturday. I think this week is going to be really about building up for the FA Cup final, which I think is going to be fantastic. But also, I mean, look, I still think we'll get updates on the sale. I don't think that's going to change, and I still think we'll get. 1 minute. Just a message coming in. I just want to get these quotes from Ten Hag and read them out. Let's hear all the Glazers out chants at the final to make them hearers. Super chat coming in here from Aka. He says, great content, Mark. Thanks. I think the refs should be ranked and bottom. Yeah, look, I'm glad it's not been mentioned at the start, but can I just say, one thing about this Premier League season that really winds me up is the bloody refereeing. I mean, if you get a chance to see it later, we've seen Casemiro have 2 red cards this season that never should have happened. And I've seen week after week, all the time, I see these bloody incidents happening where people are not getting sent off. And I think it's disgusting, absolutely disgusting, to see what Mitrovic did to Malacia. I mean, he basically wrestled him to the ground anyway. And then he goes and pushes his head at him as well. It's a blatant red card. And, that's VAR is there to see that. And then they don't do anything about it. And I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And it's like, oh, well, it's final day. We don't want to send him off. What if he didn't send him off and then he scored 2 goals and we finished 4th? That costs us about £5 million. I just think the refereeing this year has been absolutely disgusting. It really has. Mason Mount was apparently emotional at Stamford Bridge at the end of the game. So looks like he may well be coming to Manchester United. I'd keep your eye on that. We want Glazers out. Echoes around Old Trafford as the Man United players do their lap of appreciation. Ten Hag, obviously, I've read his quotes there as well. But look, that's an interesting thing as well. I do think you can pick up things on the final day. I was half expecting maybe something to come in about Harry Kane. Should we get Tielemans from Leicester, says Mojo? I wouldn't go anywhere near him. We don't always see eye to eye, but I enjoy what you do and you deserve to hit the top. Signed a proper Manx, says SB. Thank you, mate. And we're not meant to agree on everything anyway. And the best league has the worst referees. Says I don't show speed. I just think it's disgusting. If you get the chance to see that incident that Mitrovic did, it's a red card every day of the week. I just don't get it. I really don't. And I feel that really they need to do better. But going back to that Mason Mount story, if he's emotional at the end, and I was just trying to see if I could find it from anywhere else, if he's emotional at the end, that would suggest he's probably made his mind up. And if he's made his mind up, I think he's made his mind to come to Manchester United. So it could well be that we do see Mason Mount as a Manchester United player. There was, as I say, I think it was Samuel Luckhurst and Andy Mitten on Friday night were saying they hadn't heard anything. Well, it's weird because I did. And I think David Ornstein did. We were definitely in talks with him before Friday, and they were very serious talks. So, look, I think he still might end up staying at Chelsea, but if he's emotional at the end of the game, I think it looks like his mind might be made up. What about Declan Rice, says J King? Well, Declan Rice is a bit difficult because Declan Rice is going to cost a lot more money. And also Declan Rice has got a big game coming up for West Ham in the Conference League final, and then he'll be going into the England squad straight after that. So actually getting hold of Declan Rice, look, it could be quick, it could be slow, I don't know. I know United want, if you're going on tour and you're going to watch the games in America, I think there's a very high chance that you will be seeing some of these new players because Ten Hag wants them on tour. He wants to be working with them on tour. Which players would you take from any relegated teams? For me, Nonto and Barnes, says Reyes. I don't look, unless there's a, it happened a few years ago when Nottingham Forest got relegated and we paid the British transfer record for Roy Keane. I'm more than happy for United to do that. That doesn't bother me at all. But I don't think there's anybody at Leicester, Southampton or Leeds that massively jump out at me at all. I don't think so. I don't. Anyway, let's get over to the fan forum. I've had my piece. A little bit late with the fan forum because a lot of them were in the ground. So they've all been having their say about what's been going on. But thanks everyone for watching. De Gea man of the match. We start building towards the FA Cup final. I've got Ben Foster on the show with me in the morning. We've got a fantastic interview tomorrow. You're going to be quite surprised about it. It's not a player, but I don't want to over egg the pudding, but it's a really interesting interview if you like United. So get ready for that. And of course, make sure you subscribe because I think there's going to be big updates around the sale and transfers even this week. I'll see you on the fan forum. Thanks everyone for watching.